Hi there. Welcome back to Breakfast All Day. Christy and Alonso and Matt. So we're now going to talk about Gloria Bell, which is Sebastián Lelio's remake of his own film, Gloria, from a few years back. What, 2011 maybe? Which was great. Chilean director Sebastián Lelio, he has remade in English his own film, starring Julianne Moore in the Paulina Garcia role. So she is a woman in her 50s living in Los Angeles. She is divorced. She has 2 grown kids. And it is about how she tries to find happiness. She tries to find her place in the world. And that means like having the guts to go by yourself to a dance club at night. And I kind of want to go find this place that she hangs out at because it's like all middle-aged people dancing to disco, and it's awesome. It's all like singles, like 50-year-old singles dancing to like Donna Summer or whatever it is.
Christy, you're married.
I am married, but it sounds like a fun night.
Whoever did the music supervision of this movie was very spot on in terms of having to do the opposite of what most music supervisors are called to do, which is to like basically find the most obvious and the most like popular and the most sort of played out songs. But it does do that thing where it's kind of like when Sandra Bernhard in her shows will take some single that seems really trite and dumb that we haven't thought about it, and she will imbue it with this sense of like, oh my God, this is really deep. And when you hear, when Julianne Moore is in her car singing along to these songs, like she brings this angst to them that you might not otherwise think about.
And there's an honesty to that because, like, who doesn't drive around in their car singing along to Olivia Newton-John, A Little More Love? Like, she's not very good, and she's driving around LA going, it gets me nowhere. It's so, there's a lot of truth to a lot of small moments like that.
She does that thing where, like, when the song gets too high, you drop an octave.
I do that. That's true. So she meets John Turturro, who is also divorced-ish. And also has grown kids. It took me a long time to ignore the fact that I felt like I was watching Big Lebowski fan fiction in which Maude and the Jesus get together.
I have still never seen The Big Lebowski.
Well, then this won't distract you like it did for me. It's an important film, Alonso. How do you function on a daily basis in Los Angeles as a film critic? And people are probably quoting Big Lebowski to you all the time.
Because I feel like I know all the quotes, and I know. I mean, it's weird. It's like it's a movie that you sort of like come down with without ever actually see it. Like I feel like I know.
That's just like your opinion.
A ridiculous amount about this movie without ever seeing it, and I know I can't see it in a theater.
Somebody must be showing it. Well, yeah, they do Lebowski Fest every year.
I'm saying I shouldn't because I don't want to. As a first timer, I don't want to see it surrounded by the inevitable fans that show up. One of these days, I will stream it or something.
It's like seeing The Room with people the first time because everyone knows those lines, right? Okay, so Gloria and this guy whose name, of course, now escapes me are
the Jesus.
Yes, the Jesus. Maude and the Jesus get together. And it seems Arnold. It seems really lovely for a long time, and they're both kind of looking for the same thing, and they have nice chemistry with each other. But in very subtle ways, it becomes more and more clear that this is probably not going to work.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that throughout this film, she does not compromise who she is.
Yeah.
She continues to be on this path of finding out what's important to her and asserting that over and over again, and not necessarily being with a man because she has to be or feels lonely. And I think it's so revolutionary.
There are hints from the get-go that this guy is not going to be as ideal as we hope he's going to be, I really enjoyed this film. And I have to say, I walked into it thinking, why does this movie exist? Like, Gloria, 2013, I looked it up.
Okay.
It's a recent film, beautifully done, great lead performance. Like this movie only exists because not enough Americans will go see subtitled movies, and you have to make it for them again in English. And also, when a director remakes his own movie,
that's usually death.
Yeah, like I always flash back to The Vanishing, which is the really terrible version of that. The Cold Pursuit also was right.
Cold Pursuit was In Order of Disappearance,
but it was the same guy.
It's the same director, and then the thing with with Bryan Cranston in the wheelchair. Kevin Hart is his.
But that's not the same director.
It's not the same director.
No, I think
Evil Dead 2 is great though, and that's basically a remake of Evil Dead.
Anyway,
English language remakes tend to suck in general, but also when the director is doing his own work.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I went in with a lot of red flags, and I was amazed at how great this is. Like Julianne Moore's performance is dynamite. you have to sort of buy her as a woman who might be ignored by people, which is hard for somebody like Julianne Moore to play, I would think, but she does it. Like
acting.
Exactly. Acting. Totally. I like that early on, you see her like leaving messages for her kids and you think, oh, is she going to be like clingy and suffocating, naggy mom? But she's not. And you get to know over the course of the film that she does actually have a nice relationship with both of them and that they do rely on her for things, and they are close, and certainly they're closer to her than to their father, who we meet at one point, who's played by Brad Garrett.
Brad Garrett and Jean Triplehorn are also in it. Yeah.
So and like all a lot of the supporting roles are played by interesting actors. Sean Astin is in there briefly in the Vegas sequence, and Michael Cera plays her son. I really like this movie. I mean, it is very much of that 1970s an unmarried woman. I made the joke earlier. There's 2 movies this week about women, discovering their own power. This and Captain Marvel.
Yes, one of them will be a literal flaming torch. Guess which one it is. Yes.
And then there's Captain Marvel.
No, but the thing with her, like having her own like rich life, like she will go by herself to like one of those classes where you go through laugh therapy. She's constantly trying things.
Yeah, she goes to her daughter's yoga class.
Yeah, and if she feels a little dorky, that's okay. Like I love it's so life affirming, and there's so few films of women in this age, and when there are, they don't get a role like this. They don't get this kind of portrayal. They're like someone's mom. They're the naggy mom.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to her. Yeah, it hits a lot of the same beats as the original Gloria.
Yes.
It has a lot of the same moments. The ending is extremely similar, but that does not take away from how joyous the ending is.
Yes.
And how like laughter through tears the ending is. It's very happy, sad, and really sweet.
Even if you saw like the first one, you should give this one a roll. Barbara Sakova.
My God, where has she been? Where has she been?
She pops up every so often. It's like, oh yeah, you are awesome, Barbara Sakova. So yeah, this is for a movie that by rights doesn't even need to exist. It is quite well done, and I think is one I'm going to be thinking about for quite a while.
Yeah, and so Matthew Herbert, who also does the score for like all of Sebastián Lelio's films, did the music here, and there's kind of a dreamlike quality to the music, and also just to the way it's shot. There's a lot of like gauzy sunlight, which is an interesting contrast with the day-to-day reality of her mundane life. It's almost like she's in the middle of her own fairy tale, but that fairy tale may not end the way princess stories usually end. So.
They definitely know how to shoot LA, and sort of get that quality of the light and the haze and different things, and downtown versus like the valley or wherever it is that he lives, stuff like that. Everyone's going to go see Captain Marvel this weekend, and they should. But if you're too fancy for superhero movies, or you have time for more than one, also go see Gloria Bell.
Yes, I'm saying 9.
8.5.
And I get the pleasure of this weekend doing a couple of Q&As with Sebastián Lelio for this film. So if you're in LA and you want to go see it at the Landmark, I'll be with him on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. And I interviewed him a few times last year for Disobedience. So that was just a year ago with Disobedience, if you saw that. And then he won the Oscar a year ago for Best Foreign Language Film for A Fantastic Woman.
Yeah,
so
he's busy.
The lovely Sebastián Lelio is on a roll. So please go check this out too.
So yeah, thanks for watching. You can leave this video a thumbs up, and you can go subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like to hear this as a podcast, we're available in Spotify and Google Play and all the usual podcatchers. And you can leave us positive feedback there as well. And follow what we're up to. We're at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys. Bye.